When I tell you, you may want to tune in live tonight and watch the entire exclusive. We have so much for you. Um, Man, I've never heard a story like this in all the history of interviewing anyone. So it's definitely a special edition. This is Miss Rhoda Pruitt here out of New York. You guys know I'm in the city of New York tonight, so I wanted to get her live really quick and just give her story about just some of the things that have been happening in her life. She's an amazing woman. She is a real estate broker as well as designer as well as an author and co-author. I will say that co-author. Yeah. So we want to get into her and talk about that. I think one of the first things I want to start with is I want to get into you, Miss Rhoda Pruitt. um, Tell us, was there a time in your history that you knew that you were artsy or had a special gift or anything like that? Like, what age did you come to the realization that there was something special about you?
I mean, I think around the age of 5 or 6 is when I knew that there was something special about me. I saw myself like, like there. Like I saw like this whole life that I'm kind of living right now.
Yeah.
But I didn't really know where it was coming from. I was scared of it. I didn't really understand it because I never really thought that it could really be me, although I knew it was of me or I knew it was in me, you know.
That's important. Like I knew from the time I was young that there was something special, but I didn't want to face my craft or my gift. I was shy about it.
Right, right.
Were you a shy kid?
No, I was really outgoing, you know. I was a little girl. I was really a little. I wasn't fresh, you know. I wasn't mean. I wasn't bad. I was giving. I was loving, you know. Um, I guess it was because I was always in a room where I was at Madison Square Garden. I was getting passed around literally. I mean, my we know what the Jimmy Castor Bunch concerts and stadiums were like. You know, we would
Tell us about that. I was gonna bring that up, but tell us what made you a unique child and why you happen to be around stages and events and stuff like that. Tell us about that because we want to kind of talk about who your father is. You're a celebrity kid,
yeah,
or a celebrity daughter. So tell us about.
But I didn't know who I was, and I didn't know who my father was because, see, you know, it's my story. Or my claim to fame was really strange because, you know, I guess with the other celeb kids, their parents were larger than life. You know, they were, you know, all over billboards and posters and, you know, things like that. You know, fans screaming their names. You know, so I knew who my godfather was. I knew he was a celebrity. You know, and we would always be in Madison Square Garden or some kind of stage, and my godfather was, you know, on the stage. My father would be behind the stage or on the side of him somewhere, but I had no idea that he was a songwriter, you know, so I had no idea why, you know, all these people gravitated toward him, and I couldn't really understand why he was so popular. It was weird for me because, you know, growing up as a child, it's different for Blue Ivy where, you know, your parent, your mother is just so infiltrated that you really, she don't know either. She don't know the fuck Beyonce is. Right now.
No,
Please believe it.
I understand what
You know
you're
what
saying.
I mean? But like, it's totally different when you're like a Steven Spielberg child or something like that, where you really don't understand because he's not actually physically in the movie, you know.
Gotcha.
So and especially like that was before YouTube and Instagram and, you know, all that
these
type
instant
right, so
media outlets. Yeah.
We didn't have like all kind of fanfare, but I was always around. Like my dad was drawing album covers and he was on the road and stuff. So I just didn't understand, like, why is it that everybody knows my father? I couldn't do certain things or play outside because everybody knew my father. I thought that was normal for everybody else, that everybody else's father was known like that. So it was always in me, but I wasn't really certain why I was living this experience. You know?
Right.
I just knew, that royal blood, I guess,
Right. Sorry about that, y'all. The connection dropped. So, huh?
I can't see it.
You can't see it. Oh, okay.
Did you invite people, or are you going from what page?
It's from my regular page.
Right, I can't see it.
Oh, okay. Don't worry about it. It's on here because people are tuning in and they're saying hello. They're seeing it. Yeah. So you thought that was normal for you, like you thought that was just a way of life. You didn't know that the other children weren't doing that same thing or having those same kind of realities or anything like that.
Right. I thought it was normal for everybody.
Yeah. Wow. I can kind of relate to you because I'm also related to a celebrity, and there are things that we deal with that are not normal.
Jimmy Castor Bunch is watching right now. Hey, Marsha's family.
Oh, hey, family. Then we got Glenda. She's here in the city of New York. She'll be coming out tomorrow for the Queen G Live experience. Hi, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I have Miss Rhoda Pruitt, who is a celebrity's daughter. She's also a designer, a broker, realty broker, as well as a co-author. And I'm going to get into that as well. I want to talk about that.
We got a lot to cover.
Yeah,
she had to come from Vegas for this, because I have a lot going on. I think these guys will be a lot easier for you to just Google after this and kind of figure out I'm all over the place, right?
No, but it's all good. It's
unknown and known. So.
It's a reason why we're sitting here with you. So, your godfather is a songwriter.
No, my godfather is a star. He was a co-songwriter also, Jimmy Castor, right? And my father was his childhood best friend. And they started when they were like 13 years old in school. And my dad was always the genius, the straight A student, and my godfather was the star of the group, and it was just a natural friendship, just like I guess me and Maya Campbell. I guess that's where I learned how to be such a good friend to Maya Campbell, because I watched my godfather and my father's friendship for 50 years. They were fair with each other, and it was just like,
You said Maya, let's talk about that a little bit.
Okay.
Maya Campbell, and we're speaking of the beautiful girl that was on the show back in the day called In the House. She also was the leading lady in my brother's music video, Lately and Sweet Lady. She was the one.
We're both friends of her, isn't that?
Yeah, we're both, yeah.
I mean, and this is so perfect for me to have somebody that really understands the story.
Yeah.
Really knows who I know.
Right. I met her, me personally, I met her in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Back then when he shot his music video, because I was on both sets. I went to the Sweet Lady set and the Lately set. And she's just gorgeous. Like, when you would see her, you just couldn't believe she was that pretty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because her features, she was chocolate, had that really beautiful long hair. If you guys don't know who I'm talking about, Google Maya Campbell. She was on the show back in the day, In the House, with LL Cool J as well as Debbie Allen.
And look up her brother's videos, Lately and Sweet Lady.
As well as her mom is author B. Campbell.
B.B. Moore Campbell.
B.B. Moore Campbell. Okay, so she's definitely Googleable. Let me tell you, this is an exclusive because we're going to get kind of into a touchy subject. I will put a disclaimer on this, you guys. This is basically Duchess Pruitt's reality based on what she experienced. So I don't have an opinion either way. I got to say that because people jump to conclusions and they say, you said this.
Right.
No, we're not saying that. This is from Duchess' story of what she experienced and stuff like that. So I'm going to put that disclaimer on it. But tell me how you met Maya Campbell. Let's start with that.
It's such a weird situation. It's like I was meant to meet this girl, because I'll never forget, I have a cousin who's a Supreme Court judge, so I won't say who, and we went to church. Before I get to that, I'm not, of course, but we went to church, my cousin and I. It was the Abyssinian Baptist Church, and in Harlem, prestigious church, and BB Moore Campbell was there promoting her book, 72-Hour Hold. And so, I had no idea at the time, but she was talking about this book, 72-Hour Hold, and it's basically, she had a family member with mental illness, and I just couldn't understand, how this lady, I mean, was so distraught or so affected by this book that she wrote. And, I stopped and I talked to her after church, and I was interested in getting a signed autograph, copy of the book, because I'm a collector. So, and it just didn't work out that way. And bam, maybe like 2 years later, I saw that BB Moore Campbell died, and it hit the papers and it was all over the internet. And so,
how did you feel when you found that out?
I mean, I was upset because I was like, damn, I really wanted that, because I mean, fame is something that I respect, because, or items, or personalized, or signed autographs. And I really wanted to understand that book, because, she talked about it in church. And then all of a sudden, Maya Campbell, they said, BB Moore Campbell leaves behind, the beautiful actress Maya Campbell.
That's when you put two and two together.
Right. So then all of a sudden, all the controversy all over the internet was just, going crazy about Maya, being bipolar, and, all of that. And so it hit me like a ton of bricks, because I was just like, wow, and I had spoken to BB Moore, Campbell, after, the church ceremony, and it should be on film at the Abyssinia Baptist Church, because Reverend Calvin Butts records all the episodes. So after in church, so after the episode, after church, I stepped to her, because I had sickle cell anemia. I grew out of it some miraculous way, but I really understood the pain of her dealing with this illness, and I was like, I couldn't understand why it was affecting her so much, but of course I didn't realize it was her daughter.
So the book that BB Campbell wrote was actually about
Maya Campbell,
her daughter's mental illness. Now, right. If you guys, let me tell you this. What's so shocking is that people would not think that a girl as beautiful as Maya Campbell would have mental illness type of issues. And let me tell you, there's a lot of people that are medicated for mental illness. There's a lot of people that are very unstable. They may not even know that that's what their problem is.
Right.
There are a lot of people that they're imbalanced. I mean, it's just crazy, you guys. There's a bigger market of mental illness and people that have mental illness in the psychiatric ward that are fighting and dealing with their depression and their issues every single day, more than what we even know. So what's so important about this subject matter is that you had this major, amazing author, BB Campbell, who had a daughter that was an actress on television, and she was dealing with this issue at home with her daughter, and no one would ever know it.
You have to read that book to really know what listen, a lot of people, it's hard for a lot of people to really sometimes take your word for situations, but I thought the reason why it would probably be a little easier for me is because I come from fame myself, so I have no reason to lie. And it's like it's all over my Facebook page, all the pictures and stuff of me, Maya, and the way that I had to stage the story, because I was not in the industry like that myself, where everybody knew who I was. So I had to basically strategize with Maya how I was going to get her the help that she really needed and help myself at the same time.
Let's talk about let's talk. Okay, I want to go a little
into
more
how
in
I
depth.
met her now.
Yes,
right.
Let's talk about.
I was just giving the background of just how ironic it is.
Mm-hmm.
It was that it was meant for me to meet her like this. So, after that happened, like 2 years later, I met I don't know how to do that. I just wanted to say that.
I'll
Okay.
show you. I'll show you
Right.
how to invite. I'm just going in and inviting.
No, you go ahead. I don't need to invite, so
I'll do it for you.
Okay.
I know exactly.
Okay, so basically, I was in California.
Mhm.
All right. I decided, because I'm a real estate broker, I decided that I just needed a break from real estate business, and I was a top producer, really, doing well, like silver award winning broker. And I said to myself, after the demise of some of my real estate partnerships, I realized that I was a different type of broker than other people. I had these visionaries of grandeur that people thought I was unrealistic, and you know what I mean? Because they did not really know, unlike your brother's name that's so big everybody knows, they didn't really understand the power or the magnitude of the Jimmy Castor bunch. So I left. I went to California because I just couldn't deal with it anymore.
The some of the price of fame,
right?
And you're the child of, and not understanding how to take all that in.
I just couldn't deal with it anymore. So after looking at just all of these situations, I saw BB Moore Campbell, and I said to myself, it was so weird because I said to myself, I wish that I knew this girl, because I spoke to her mother after church, getting to that because this is a very important piece. I spoke to her mother because I was just so distraught by what she was saying, and I understood illness, having sickle cell anemia, and what it meant to be on medications and stuff like that, not as severe as her.
Right.
So I said, to BB Moore Campbell, I said, just, with all the fame and accomplishment and money and the things that you've accomplished, it seems like this book is a little more dear to her than, it was just like strange to me that it took on this type of effect for it to be a book that, was not really supposed to be. But she said it was about a family member, and
so in the book, was it hidden as to who she was talking about? Was it kind of like a secret?
She talked in the book. She talked about it, and it was her daughter. But you really thought it was not like an autobiography, so you wasn't really certain that it was really her daughter. She was, kind of talking about like that. Right. And after church, she said, I really wish that my daughter met someone like you, because you really seem to have your head on your shoulder. You're a businesswoman, and I didn't speak anything about my father. She had no idea, that I came from that world as well. And she left through the doors, and I wrote it the story in the book, so it's in my book, our book, My Year and I. So I went to California, and boom, one of my best friends was rest in peace, Uptown Ebony Brown. I lived with her in California, and come to find out, Maya Campbell is one of her best friends. So I was at Ebony's, beauty salon, and in comes Maya Campbell.
Wow, that's how you met. And you at that point,
back to the nap on Crenshaw Avenue. There's pictures of that on our page.
At that point, you hadn't tied BB Campbell to Maya Campbell yet.
No, I knew because I knew, but I didn't know Maya. I didn't think I would ever meet Maya. I just happened to be in the hair salon back to the nap, and I saw like BB Moore Campbell, I think, died like a year or two before, a year and a half before. So when she died, it flashes, and she leaves behind